Good morning, YouTube. How are you guys doing? It is the Wednesday after Memorial Day weekend. How was your weekend? Mine was good. I've got a couple videos I'm gonna edit and get out maybe by the weekend. I'm trying to get that done little by little. But my weekend was really good, you guys. And yesterday was my first day back at work, of course, like all of you guys. And, well, unless you'd worked on Monday for some reason. And yeah, today I've got class. Today I'm going to a professional education class. It's important to keep your skills tight and sharp, guys. So I'm going to class for work right now, and it's across town. I have about an hour and a half to get there, hopefully. Hopefully, that's enough time with the way this Houston traffic is set up. I stopped by Starbucks to get me a bacon Gouda sandwich and some green tea to keep me awake during class. So yeah, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I know me. If I get in that class and it gets to be a little bit boring, I'm gonna be out. So at least I have some green tea to keep me stimulated during the class. So guys, I want to say thank you and welcome to all of my new subscribers, guys. I'm so excited to have you guys. Welcome to my channel. I really hope you enjoy the videos and the reviews. The reviews are a little bit far between these days. And traffic. Yeah, so I started watching the Real Housewives of New York, and I had every intention of reviewing that, you know, keeping current, but you know I always fall behind. If you're not new to this channel, you know I always fall behind at some point. So I actually fell 4 weeks behind on the Real Housewives of New York, and I finally got to catch up, and so now I'm current. Today's Wednesday. There'll be a new episode tonight, but I won't be able to watch it probably until the weekend. So I'll give you guys a rundown of my thoughts of the season so far. I need to get in, you guys. Let me show you this traffic. Look at this madness. This is absolute madness, you guys. It's 7:06 a.m. I have to be in class at 8:30. Traffic's usually bad, but this is exceptional. So I wonder if there's an accident or something, because yeah, I don't know what's going on, y'all. It's never like this at this time. It's usually like this a little earlier, 30 minutes ago, or I don't know, or even later. If you mess around and try to leave your house at 7:30, which I don't do because I have to be at work at 7:30, it's horrible, just like this. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking there must be an accident, but I don't know about. Anyway, New York, guys. Have you been watching the Real Housewives of New York? I finally got caught up, and I really like New York, as I've said. It's kind of a hard show. Look at this guy just cut me off. It's kind of a hard show to review, though, because so much happens in each episode. There's just so much that I want to comment on and talk about that my review will be either longer than the show, the same length of the show, or longer. So yeah, who has time for all that? So this is my general rundown of what I think of the season so far. Sonia. We have seen a season before where Sonia was the target. They all turned against her, said she was an alcoholic. Nobody wanted to film with her. We've seen that before. And I feel like we're kind of seeing it again this season. And everybody's turned against her. Even Ramona, you know, is just, I don't know who she is anymore. We're not close anymore. And I don't even know her because she went away for the summer. So it's all contrived, right? But surprisingly, Bethany, so far, is the only one that's in her corner. And she hasn't fallen out with her yet. So I just finished last week's episode, which was the beginning of the Murder Mystery Dinner, I mean. And this week is going to be the continuation. So far, Bethany has been a champion for Sonia. But yeah, so yeah, you know, I really like Sonia. I think she's great. I think her townhouse is amazing. If she can get $32,000 a month for that townhouse, guys, I need to get into the real estate business, because that's a lot of coin. That's a really nice property, though, for New York City, and to have that much square footage and that many levels, that's really impressive. So good for her. I remember when she was going to sell it. Remember she was going to sell that because she needed money for that judgment? Thank God she didn't, y'all, because that's going to feed her for life. For life. Anyway, see, I'm enjoying her, y'all. it was interesting that she talked about dating 2 men at one time, and how she said she never slept with Frenchie. And I'm like, isn't that what she talked about the most when she was dating Frenchie? And who else was she dating at that time that she was sleeping with? Because she was dating R.H.O.N.Y, and she said she wasn't sleeping with R.H.O.N.Y because she was sleeping with Frenchie. But then on, I think it was last week's episode, she said she didn't like sleeping with 2 men at one time, so that's why she never slept with Frenchie. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Did you guys pick up on that? Did y'all hear that? What do y'all think about that? Do y'all think Frenchie made a reappearance? I never believed Frenchie was really French. So it's funny that I think, was it Carol that said his contract expired? I'm not surprised. But anyway, so I'm liking Sonia this season. I always like her. She's funny and carefree. And I'm really interested in knowing. I really think something went on with her and her husband in her marriage. You know, they kind of, Dorinda pretty much said that she cheated all over her husband in the marriage, which she may have. I mean, at that time, you know, Sonia was a lot younger than her husband. She's always been pretty flirtatious and whatnot. And since at that time, you know, she was on the come up, she probably did date around, and she had access to men with money that she hadn't, you know, in a different way, since she was Mrs. Morgan or whatever. So who knows? She probably messed that up. And that's really a shame. It's really a shame. So anyway, it seems like she's doing all right though for herself. She's doing all right. So Carol and Bethany's spat, you guys. Now, the fact that Carol was unaware that they were in an argument, it makes me think that this is something that they thought of for a storyline for Bethany, besides Be Strong. Be Strong is amazing, and they're doing great work, but I don't know that that's really drama-filled enough for this show. So, excuse me, I really feel like I said, this is something that they dreamed up. Bethany's not being honest. And, you know, Carol was right when she said, it is interesting that Bethany's talking to everybody about this resentment or whatever she's got going on towards Carol, and not talking to Carol because it's not her style. Which, again, another clue, it's for a storyline. So I hope they work it out, guys. I like the fact that Carol is no punk. She's not pulling any punches. She's telling Bethany like it is. And Bethany was trying to, you know, sidestep and use semantics and split hairs when Carol confronted her. And Bethany obviously didn't talk to her about anything. And it's funny because Bethany's really trying to paint this picture that Carol didn't care about her and the work she was doing with Be Strong and all this other stuff, when, yeah, that's probably not true. So, I mean, I think they'll work it out. What do you guys think about this argument so far? Do y'all think it's a fake argument in the sense that Bethany is just creating drama for the story and just didn't let Carol in on it? Or do you think that Bethany truly has some resentment towards Carol and doesn't feel like Carol was really present in her life? I don't know. I don't mind that Carol and Tinsley are friends. I really don't. And I think they do have a lot in common. I think it was kind of shady for Bethany to say that they have a lot in common because they're both single and don't have children and don't have careers. Like, that, the careers part, if I were Carol, I'd be very insulted, because she's had a very lucrative career for, you know, when, what did she say, CBS? I forgot which station she worked for as a journalist. She still writes some on the side, and she's on the show. So I'm sure she's doing other things on the side, just like they all are, their little side hustles as a result of the show. So that was unnecessary. Now, Tinsley, we all know she's a socialite. I don't even know that she does charity work. Like, I have no idea what she does beyond blowouts and Scott. So, I mean, I like her though. I think she's a lot of fun. She's so young acting though. Like, I just can't get over it. But I like Tinsley, and I don't mind her and Carol together. I think they're cute together. And I don't think that their friendship would exclude Bethany or anyone. I think that they're very inclusive. So, anyway, I like that. I was like, what? Okay, so you guys, I did do some reviews at the beginning of the season. And one of the things with Tinsley and Scott, you know how I was saying that when I was commenting that she kept saying there's all this pressure in the relationship? And I was like, where's the pressure coming from? Like, is he pressuring her to move? And she kind of, when she initially said that, it seemed like she felt pressured because he lived in Chicago. But it's clear she is the stage 5 clinger. She's known Scott for 5 minutes. and she's willing to move across the state lines for him. I mean, come on. Tinsley has got to have access to other men and other opportunities and whatever. I mean, she's got to be more people than just Scott, but she has just attached herself so closely. And I betcha that's what happened in Palm Springs. She attached herself to some guy, and I don't know the story, I didn't read the articles, I don't know, so just keep that in mind. But I'm sure he was like, yeah, this was fun for a time, but I'm not really ready to move on, and she didn't want to let go. So I really wonder, I hope things work out with her and Scott, but I'm wondering if they don't. Are we going to get a repeat of Palm Springs with a arrest and all that other stuff? That'll be interesting. I don't think so. I think Tinsley's learned her lessons, but I can certainly see how that situation may have lent itself to a arrest. So let's talk about Ramona this season, you guys. Ramona's on one. She's full of it. She's being Ramona, right? She says slick stuff, calling Luann, and, you know, just picking on Bethany about her townhouse. But I'm glad we're not seeing all this, like, fake forced dating stuff this season, because I like Ramona and all, and she's fine by herself. She doesn't really need to put herself out there. Maybe that was part of her, you know, healing process to feel desirable again or whatever. I don't know. I'm really interested to see how long she's going to hold on to this I don't know Sonia card, because I'm pretty sure somewhere along the way, like, they kind of showed they made up this last episode, but, you know, Ramona's fake, so she's going to do that with Sonia and then turn right around and stab her in the back. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm liking Ramona this season. She's pretty much the same as always. Dorinda, you guys, do you think she's an alcoholic? I don't know that I think she's an alcoholic. I think she can't hold her liquor. I think that she's still grieving Richard, though. Y'all, that is the saddest thing. I think that she really is still grieving Richard. I think that's why she can't move on with John. I think John is like the opposite of Richard, but I think it's only because he and Richard were such good friends that she even started dating Richard in the first place. I mean, John in the first place. I think that John reminds her of Richard, and it was a comfortable, safe relationship to get into to kind of help her move on. And I think she probably knows that subconsciously. This might have been just a big, huge rebound. And it's sad because John really seems into her. But I hope Dorinda gets it together. I hope she just, you know, really, I hope that she really does, you know, finally heal and get closure from all that and move on, because she does talk about Richard a lot, and you know, good for her if that's what she wants to do, but and good on John to listen to that all the time. But I guess it's different because that was his best friend and he is passed away, so it's not like he's competition. But I would imagine that would still get hard at some point, because I mean, wouldn't John feel like he's being compared to Richard in a way? I don't know. What do you guys think about that whole situation with that? Dorinda and Bethany, you know, that whole trip to Puerto Rico was nice. It was nice to see. And, you know, I have friends who have family in Puerto Rico, and watching them go up there to that remote area, and they were giving out all that money, right? And I was thinking, okay, where are they going to use this money? Like, they have no electricity, there's no stores, there's nothing. And my friends told me that their relatives were driving, I think, an hour and a half or whatever just to charge cell phones at some other location. And then one day they drove, I forgot where. It was a long ways, and they got food and stuff and brought it back to their home, and they were robbed that night, and somebody stole all of it. And I want to say that they had to drive like hours, like maybe 3 hours each way or something crazy. It was a huge effort to get food and then to come home and it gets stolen, you know. And that's devastating. So I kept thinking about that, like, where, and it was $300, which, you know, there's a lot of people, so you don't have that much money. In considering that they were all donations, that's really good. And but where are they going to use it? Some of those people seemed like they were living in the mountains, you know, and maybe didn't even have access to transportation to be able to get to a store or somewhere where they could use the money. You know, if you looked at their faces, they didn't seem, some of them did seem happy, you know, but some of them were just looking at her, even with the translator. So I don't think it was that they didn't understand what she was saying. I think it was kind of like, okay, well, where's the food? I was thinking, okay, I'm sure she said she'd been there 3 or 4 times, but I think it'd be great to bring food and money, or water and money, or something tangible they can use right now and money, because it is just bleak, you guys, bleak. else? Luann. Y'all, I like Luann. And nothing really yet is happening with her. Okay, so Ramona had that party and she invited Missy. I'm like, Ramona is going to be messy until the end. But Luann handled that with grace and class. She went right up to Missy, said hello. I don't have a problem with Missy, which she didn't, you know. And so why is Missy showing up? Like, what's going on? Like, is Missy looking for her 15 minutes of fame? Come on now. Are they paying Missy? Because why does she need to be there? I mean, at all. And then she's dating somebody else, some young guy, who also invited Luann to dinner. Is she trying to start a mess? Like, I don't know. Maybe Ramona puts her up to it. Or maybe she enjoys seeing herself on TV. But contrived. But yeah, Luann's doing good. She's working on some, I didn't quite get what she was doing when she was working with that music guy. Is she going to be singing somewhere? I have to watch that again. But yeah, so far, you know, Luann's talking about, you know, she seems like she's moving on, doing well after the whole Tom fiasco. So I'm glad to see that. And let's see, who else? Bethany, Sonia, Ramona, Luann, Tinsley, Dorinda. I think that's it. But there was something else I think I wanted to say. I know what it was. So Carol is dating Adam, right? Or was dating Adam. They broke up, right? So as soon as Carol started talking about, you know, they were on a break, but they weren't like, she made it, what she said was, we are broken up, but there's this understanding that he's not dating anybody else and I'm not dating anybody else, and it'd be disrespectful if he did. And I'm like, Carol, you can't hang on to somebody that you're not willing to commit to. You can't just expect he's never going to date anyone ever again, and you don't want to really move forward in your relationship. He's still in his 20s, right? Maybe he's 29 now or whatever, but he was 28 when they got together, so he could be 30. But you can expect somebody to, you know, put their life on a shelf because you have, you know? God, I want to sneeze. Anyway, yeah, so Carol can't expect Adam to be put on a shelf because she wants to keep him there whenever and take him down when she wants to play with him. So I was thinking that just sounds very selfish, and it doesn't sound right that Adam would agree to something like that. And so sure enough, Adam started dating somebody else, and I'm like, you know, and Carol was upset. She's like, oh, that's the ultimate betrayal. I'm like, what betrayal? You weren't in a relationship. And now, in her talking head, she wants to spin it. We slip back into a relationship. Well, maybe not a relationship. Maybe y'all slip back into bed or whatever. But you said you do not want to be in a relationship. It was too much for y'all to live together. You didn't want to be in your space. You want to be free and uncommitted or whatever. Then she needs to continue dating, you know, the kind of person that doesn't want to be committed, just like her. And not a young guy, you know, getting started in life and building his career and maybe wants to build a family at some point, you know. So it's too bad they broke up, but I just didn't see that as a long-term thing anyway. So what do you guys think about Carol and Adam? Do you feel like you're sad? Like Tinsley was just shocked. Like, what? He is not Radswell worthy. And I'm thinking, Tinsley, did you really support this madness? I know that's your friend and all, but I'm giving you the side eye too. Like, I'm sure Tinsley's trying to get married to Scott, not just date him forever. So, and Adam was honest, you know. So what did Adam do wrong? What did he do wrong? I mean, maybe he said, I agree with you, Carol, I'm not going to date anybody else. I doubt it, because Carol said it was an written expectation or whatever, which you already know that she had that in her mind because she wasn't dating anybody else and she was comfortable with the way things were. She assumed he was too, and he may not have said anything, but neither did she. So at least when it mattered, he was honest and said, look, you know, I found somebody I like and I want to pursue it. So you don't want me, Carol, I gotta go. So I support it. I'm sorry that Carol's hurt by it. It is too bad, but she's 50, right? So she knows how this works. She's been around. She knows that, you know, he has every right to move on with his life, and he didn't cheat on her, and he was honest with her and respected her about it. So I think she's just hurt right now. I think she's just hurt, and I think she'll move on, and there's plenty of fabulous men out there for her, and she's a wonderful woman, and I'm sure she'll find someone else. So you guys, that's my take on the Real Housewives of New York. So far, I'm enjoying the season. I'm really enjoying this murder thing. I was shocked that if you haven't watched watch the murder dinner thing, you might want to skip over the next few seconds because I'm gonna spoil this for you. I feel like it didn't really get underway. Like, the two men were killed right away, and then Dorinda was hungry and said, I did it, and I thought she gave it away. But the officiant said, or whatever his title is, he goes, oh, good guess, you did do it. And so I was like, it's over that quick? I really wanted to see, like, Clue, you know, like the movie Clue, where they had to figure it out and debate and whatever. So I was kind of let down, y'all. I like mysteries. So that was pretty disappointing. But anyways, overall, I'm enjoying the season. I'm enjoying it. It is hard to review. So maybe I'll just do something like this, where I'll just give you my overall synopsis instead of trying to, like, be more detailed. Because this is already, I think, 20 minutes or whatever. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on the Real Housewives of New York. I think season 10. And let me know in the comments below what you think about the show this season so far. And if you're enjoying it. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.